Hi, everybody. Welcome to Cox Connections. Brad Grundmeyer, Director of Public Government Affairs for Cox, Louisiana. Thank you so much for tuning into our show. We're here to talk with the wonderful folks at the Audubon Insectarium. The great folks over there are just have really got an amazing product to showcase, which is the Insectarium, as well as the other facilities of the Audubon Institute. But the Insectarium is unique and is always an exciting segment for us. And happy to have my buddy Zack, who's the Visitor Programs Manager for the Audubon Insectarium. Zack, welcome. Good to see you, man.
Thanks, Brad. It's always
Zack Lemann,
fun to come.
Good to see you. Forgot that. Oh, it is. It's always great to have you here. And you've always got some amazing things. First off, before we get to that, it is the summer. And, you know, in New Orleans, we look at tourism, the great benefits of Essence and of things like that have taken place. But you were mentioned earlier some great advantages that are offered right now that maybe two-for-one kind of stuff that maybe we should take advantage of.
We just started it this week, and I left a very crowded Insectarium to come to the studio here today. At Audubon Insectarium for the remainder of the summer, I think we run through mid-August. If you are an adult and buy a ticket, 2 children get in for free.
Wow.
Yeah.
So if the missing can come, you can bring the 3rd or the 4th child, buy 2 adult tickets. The other ones can come too.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's
you like my math on that? Are you impressed with that?
You know, it went so fast, I just said yeah.
You did. But that's great. So 1 adult, how long is that through?
I believe it's through mid-August, but you probably can find out on Audubon's website, www.audubоninstitute.org, or you can call 861-2537. That's the Info Central line. Hit the 0 after the voice prompt comes on, and they'll tell you everything you want to know about pricing, hours of operation for any of our facilities.
And to that point, we'll do a shameless plug for the Audubon Zoo.
Yeah.
The cool zoo doing incredible.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I mean, it's hot as blazes, as we all know.
Sure.
And you grow up here, it's not news to anybody, but how do you cool off? You not only can go to the zoo and check out all the wonderful exhibits, but we've also got this cool zoo, which is just a wonderful water park within the zoo.
Oh, it's fantastic. And Marlo, who works with us here, was saying how great it is to just let the kids play.
Yeah.
Can I bring an umbrella up there?
I suppose so. Are you trying to stay dry? That's not the idea.
That's right. But it's great. The cool zoo at the aquarium, at the zoo. There's so many things you guys have. Is fantastic. So I definitely encourage you to do that. Well, as always, awesome things to showcase. Let's start with the first one in the middle. Yeah. What do we have there now? At first, I didn't even see it, but what do we have in there?
Well, I brought katydids today.
What is a katydid?
Well, katydids are relatives of crickets and grasshoppers, and you can kind of get that feeling when you look at one, especially by checking out those well-modified back legs.
Yeah, so one right here.
Yeah.
Actually, one you're showing on the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
here,
there's a great shot.
You can use my pointer. Here, use my pointer. Take my pointer.
Okay. So is this the one that's...
Yeah, that's one we got. So what are you seeing here?
So you're seeing an insect that is usually green, and it has flattened wings that are leaf-like. And so they're very well camouflaged, and this is the primary way that katydids stay out of trouble. But like crickets and grasshoppers, they are mostly leaf eaters, and males will usually chirp or sing to attract a mate. They have ears on their legs, and so when he rubs his wings together and makes a nice sound, the female is able to hear it.
Now, how many katydids, I mean, is it a typical species? How many different types are there in the world?
There are about 6,000 species of katydids. Yeah, in the world.
I don't think I've ever heard of the word katydid before.
Well,
pardon my ignorance.
That's okay. Most people who come to the zoo or to the Insectarium, I should say,
or the grasshopper.
Zoo, they'll say grasshopper or cricket. And one main difference is grasshoppers tend to have short antennas that are fairly thick. Katydids actually have antennas that are more cricket-like. They're very long
and shoot back.
Very thin. Yeah.
What do they typically eat?
Mostly, these are herbivores, so it's leaf matter. And you'll notice I've got a big old piece of romaine lettuce in here, and the other katydids I brought will eat romaine as well. Some of them, though, are omnivores. And it's funny, when you think about a cricket, you think about some sweet little thing that crawls in the grass and nibbles, but some of these will attack and eat other insects, including this species right here that we're looking at. This is called a unicorn katydid. And if you get really close in on the head, and I'll wait till your guys can shoot it.
Swing it around, maybe Walter can pick it up right here.
Both the males and the females have a pointed structure on the front of the head.
Excellent.
And that's why they're called unicorn katydids. So we'll see if you guys can get close on it.
I'm looking at just the armoring, the texturing at the bottom is just really something to see, just, you know, from what we're looking at here. Do you see it on the screen?
Oh, I do now. Yes.
Yeah, so there you go.
And if you zoom down, you might see the ovipositor here. There's a very long
ovipod.
Well, it's a long blade-like structure that they use for laying their eggs. And on unicorn katydids, it's as long as the insect's body. which is pretty incredible. By the way, we are breeding these now, and no other facility in the country, insectarium, zoo, or otherwise, has done that before. We got these from a supplier in Costa Rica, put the males and the females together, and they weren't very picky about their oviposition site, which is a fancy way of saying where they want to lay their eggs.
Grasshoppers you typically hear. Now, these guys are relatively quiet. Do they make noise?
Oh, yes, absolutely. In fact, want to hear some?
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
Why don't we do it?
let's move on to the giant Malaysian katydid.
See if I can move this katydid.
Yeah.
Katie, don't move over here.
All right, so I'm going to try to pick up the female. She's a little quieter than the male most of the time. And
I would have never had seen. Is this a male? I mean, an adult, I should say.
This is an adult, and you can see that it's a ginormous katydid. This is the largest species in the world. They're from Malaysia, and you can see the ovipositor. There you go. I hope the camera's picking all that up there.
If you can spin your
there
hand
we go.
just a little bit. There you go. Point to it.
There you
again.
go.
One more
There you
time.
go. There's the ovipositor. And on the other katydid we saw, it was much, much longer than the insect's body. So,
and to your point, too, longer antennas, too. My goodness.
Yeah, yeah. Now, crickets have long, thin antennae, but crickets tend to be flattened and brown, and they sit low to the ground. Katydids kind of are high steppers, if you will. Now, I'm going to get that guy.
This guy's getting ready to hop out on
Well, I hope he doesn't go far, but what I'm going to do
Marlowe's running for the door.
I'm going to grab the back of his wings, Brad.
Okay, and we're going to hear it. So.
And he's going to give a distress call. Oh, I don't need to get it close to the mic.
Okay, great.
Hang on one second. Could you hear that?
Absolutely.
And that's quieter.
That's his distress call.
That's quieter than the mating call. I had one of these things giving his mating call behind 2 doors and 2 walls one day at the Insectarium. I thought an alarm was going off in our building. It was deafening. It's probably around 80 to 100 decibels.
Average lifespan?
These as adults will live up to 8 or 10 months, and we didn't know that when we first got them from our supplier, but they do pretty well. And we are now breeding these also, which is very exciting. We get these from an Asian supplier. Only one other place in the country has ever bred them successfully, and with limited success. We now are sitting on about 50 or so babies, and they're really cute.
And how long does it take for the baby to mature?
That I don't know. I have to call the folks at the lab. Now, the last katydid species that I'll show you today, I know the timing on that one very well. We've just started with these, and so I haven't been able to pick everybody's brain over there at the lab.
And these are, which I believe are just shocking to me, pink.
Yeah, yeah.
And of course I said pink grasshoppers at first, but pink katydids.
Katydids. Okay. Let me tell you how they got their name, and then we'll move on to those guys. In North America,
you do such a good job of just slowly getting them.
Well,
in there.
I need to make sure that I don't clip legs and wings and antennas, and they like to climb up, so it's this game, and you have to just kind of keep doing it and make sure everybody's clear. And
because you don't want to hear that sound again.
Did you? You got that right. Okay.
All right, let's slide it over and see what we at home with this.
So, of course, the colonists from Europe came over and hit sort of the northeast part of what is now the United States.
Okay.
And the most common katydid there, when the male rubs his wings together, it sounds like katydid, katydid. And that's why in English we call all of them katydids. And in other countries, the translation of the name of this animal does not translate to katydid because their songs may be or they make all sorts of different sounds.
But that one stuck.
But katydid stuck here. Yeah. So these beautiful ones that are in here are from Louisiana.
Really?
Yeah.
And let's back up. Where would I find these, and where would I find those guys?
The unicorn katydids I showed you at first are Costa Rican.
That's the ones that we've shown first. Okay,
and I say Costa Rican.
Predominantly South Africa, South American.
Central and South America.
Central and South America. Okay.
And then these giant Malaysian katydids are Southeast Asia. Not exclusive to Malaysia, but not much of a bigger spread.
But very popular?
You know, I don't know in country how easy it is to find one of these. Okay. And I will tell you this, the supplier does not have them all the time. And we were open, the Insectarium was open for a year before we got our first ones.
Before you got the katydids. Now these beautiful pink ones, is that only for Louisiana? I mean,
actually, within North America alone, there are at least 3 species that are known to be pink, but this is the one that's most commonly encountered. And its common name, its full common name, is the oblong-winged katydid. And oblong-winged katydids are usually green. There's one green one in here, and maybe I can show him off. Let me move this over here.
Because the pink ones wouldn't be recommended. Oh, you want to keep? You're not taking them out.
Well, I'm going to try to open this up and get this green guy out here, just for a second.
You found him. Okay, there he is.
Go. So that's your standard, basic, run-of-the-mill. I hope it doesn't jump on your face right now, katydid.
Sure, and he's looking right at me.
Yeah, and there's a pink one there for comparison.
Oh,
there you go.
Looking at each other.
So this is a recessive trait, this pink coloration. And ever since I've worked at Audubon, since 1992, we've received about a half a dozen of these a year from people in and around the New Orleans area. Now I say
probably thought they had found something amazing.
Well, it's true, they have actually. It's not very common. I've never found a pink one. But boop, there you go. I'll have to catch that guy. Give me 1 second. I'll have to catch that guy too. Hang on 1 second. Now I have to put everybody away. So the point is that we get about 6 of these a year, and prior to the insectarium opening up, we never had enough adult males and females at the same time to try to breed them. But now at our lab, we have a nice breeding colony of pink katydids.
So
and we
pink
have a
makes
permanent,
a pink?
And we have a permanent display, by the way. And pink to pink makes pink. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So if you come to the Audubon Insectarium in our New Orleans gallery, we have a very large display that usually has about 8 or so of these beautiful pink katydids. Oh, and I have one more katydid in my pocket to show you.
You do not have
yeah,
a
I
katydid.
do.
You do.
This one was this one was in the building yesterday, and one of the guards called me and said, "There's a bug on the
There's
wall."
one that's escaped.
Well, they never know whether it's ours or
that's a great Pixar movie in the making right there. The Great Escape.
We're pretty good about retaining our collection animals, but you're in New Orleans. There are a lot of bugs around.
Sure.
And these cone-headed katydids, different species from these, are actually quite prevalent downtown. What I wanted to show you, if the camera will get close, is their mandibles. We think of katydids as being camouflaged, and if their coloration doesn't help them, they can always jump and fly.
See it?
Yep, but this one can bite. Let's have a look at these jaws.
This one can bite. Oh, look at that.
How about that? Is that coming through? Are we able to get close enough on the camera?
Right there, yeah.
So I've caught these before.
He's clamped down on that pretty good.
And sometimes when I've caught them, I've been less than careful. It's a big bite.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. So
you'll remember it.
Yeah, katydids have lots of defenses. There are some that have spots on their wings that they will flash to scare predators.
Makes the same sound as the one we saw?
Every species has a species-specific mating call.
Okay.
So if you're out, if you really know these animals well, and we actually have a katydid expert here in town.
That would be you.
No,
really?
It's not
Someone
me.
knows it more than you.
Yeah, and he can actually go out in the field and stop for a second and tell you what katydid and what cricket is singing at any given moment in the summertime. It's phenomenal.
Dude, that's amazing. That's
so,
fantastic.
If this thing ever lets go of this paper, I'll put it up.
Still got it. Well, as always, Zach, thank you so much for coming by. I'm sorry to see we're out of time. Again, if you're looking to go to the Audubon Insectarium or any of the wonderful facilities, the address 423 Canal Street, New Orleans, the phone number 410-2847, open Tuesday through Sunday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Again, Twitter at Audubon Zoo, Facebook. Go to Audubon Zoo. What are you going to get a shot at this, Walter? This man's crazy. What are you doing, Zach? You need to get out some, my friend. You know I love you. All right, everybody. Thanks a lot for coming by, and thanks for the katydids for doing a great job today as this guy's coming after me. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.